I was told last night that I had 10 minutes only today. So I have to take advantage of them. So I said, what shall I say? I will say something important. Malachi 3:8. Will a person rob God? Yet you are robbing me. But you say, how have we robbed thee? In tithes and offerings. I heard thousands of times since I was born in the church every Sunday, now is the time to bring our tithes and offerings. I never knew the difference. I said, why they say tithes and offerings, and then they put everything in the same basket? What's the difference? Sometimes I thought that a tithe was a larger bill. But actually, I have to admit, I never knew the difference until I found it myself studying. Of course, I know you know the difference. But in Argentina, the dealings between the owner of the land and their stewards or administrators is like this in the grain country. The owner puts the land and the steward puts the labor. When they get the harvest and pay the bills, half of the gains is for the owner and half is for the labor, for the steward. That is half and half, 50 and 50. Now, in the fruit country is different because the owner puts more than the land. The trees are there, the water to irrigate is there. So the owner gets of the deal 80%. According how the field is from 75 to 85%. And the steward or the workers, they get 20 to 25%. That's the deal between the owners of the land and those who work them. So God also had a deal with us. He says, well, I will put the land, I put the seed, I put the sun, I put the rain, I put the metal to make the tools, I put the oil for energy, I put you, because we also belong to Him. What do we put in the deal? Well, we get up in the morning and go to work. So we put the labor, the willingness to manufacture with the things and the materials of God. So as you know, God said, well, when you get the gains, the product of your labor, don't forget I own everything you were working with. So I want to make a deal with you. Now, I wouldn't ask you anything if I would not need something. But I will ask you exactly what I need, no more. I will allow you to use the 90% for you. You know, it's grace because the 100% belongs to Him. The 100% is His. But in grace, He said, I will let you use at your discretion the 90%. But the 10% is the part that belongs to me. So when you get your gains, don't forget to bring me the tithe, the 10% that belongs to me. Now, that 10% is not an offering. That 10% is the part that belongs to God. We don't give tithes. We pay tithes. Abraham paid tithes. We don't have to decide if we are going to give or not the 10%. That has been decided. It's like if you go to the supermarket, you fill your cart with goods, and then when you go by the cashier, you say, wait a minute, I have to decide if I'm going to pay you or not. You don't decide that. It's decided. So the 10% of God is already decided. It's His part. It's not an offering. What is an offering then? An offering is when I take from the 90% that God has given me to use at my discretion, and from that part I bring an offering to God. What means that I can't give any offering until I have paid my tithe. Because if I haven't paid my tithe, I cannot give any offering yet, because the offering is for the other 90%. So you should explain to your people that if they want to give really an offering, first they have to take out the tithe. Otherwise, there's no offering to give. Is that clear? Good. What if I don't tithe? Will God punish me? What happens to me? Do you know that under grace, there is no curses? Jesus delivered us from the curses of the law. So even if we don't tithe, we are not going to be a curse, because we are under grace. And I believe that the only practical way to demonstrate God that He is Lord and owner, because the word Lord means owner, that He is owner of everything, the only practical way is to pay our tithe. We don't show Him that He is the owner by singing choruses and cry. Suppose that you rent me an apartment, and you tell me, Brother Ortiz, because you are a friend, I won't charge you deposit or month in advance. You just get into the apartment, and every month I will get the rent. So, thank you. $1,000 a month. So I leave the whole month, and then you come to get the rent. And when you come, I start to sing, you are the owner, you are the owner. You had bought this place, and you are the owner. But I don't pay you. I just sing you. Well, then you say, my goodness, well, you come next month. And next month I have a choir and a piano. And we sing, you are the owner, 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 you are the owner. But we don't pay you. You will end up saying, hey, shut up and pay me. You know, when I see Christians singing, crown him, I said, is he paying his tithes? Because the only practical way to show that we believe that God owns everything is paying his tithe. And my 10 minutes are gone. Thank you very much. God bless you.
You are the owner. You are the owner. You are the owner. You are the owner. You are the one. You are the one to whom the rent is due. To whom the rent is due. You are the one, you are the one to whom the rent is due. Have your own rent now. Have your own rent. We know we owe it, every cent. But please, if you don't mind, will you please come back next month?